October 14th, 1966. NBC Studios, Burbank. Audrey Hepburn arrived in a black Givenchy coat from Paris, where she had spent the summer filming. Gregory Peck arrived 4 minutes later. He saw her and said, "You look like Paris," she said. "You look like California. Wait." Because what happened in the next 40 minutes, what was said on that stage, then, erased from the record for reasons that took 14 years to surface, would reveal something about Gregory Peck that not even Johnny Carson, sitting 3 feet away, fully understood until much later. The man across the couch was named Martin Driscoll, a critic who deployed opinions with the confidence of someone unaccustomed to contradiction. Have you ever watched a room change temperature without anyone opening a window? Driscoll turned to Audrey. Roman holiday was a question of timing, wasn't it? The right face at the right moment. A lucky accident? Audrey began to answer. Driscoll talked over her. The film needed someone who wasn't quite an actress yet. Wyler needed that freshness. Train technique would have ruined it. He had told a woman who would spend 30 more years before cameras that her greatest performance had required her not to know what she was doing. Gregory's eyes went still. Coffee cup on the armrest. No sound. "Martin," he said. Voice dropped a full register, not louder, the opposite. "Do you know the difference between a question that seeks understanding and one that delivers a verdict?" Driscoll blinked. "You just told Miss Hepburn her most acclaimed performance succeeded because she was not yet an actress. Is that a question or a conclusion dressed as one?" Can you imagine sitting 3 feet from Gregory Peck when his voice goes that quiet? Driscoll adapted. "What I admire is the Hepburn quality, charm, elegance." Though compared to Grace Kelly's technical range, one wonders whether the appeal is more personality than craft. A different category. The word hung there. Gregory looked at him. In 1952, William Wyler was directing Roman Holiday in Rome. Wyler did not give compliments. He paused. On the 34th take, Wyler came to me privately. He said, "She is doing something in front of this camera I cannot fully explain. She is not performing. She is being." The studio had gone quiet. He then said, "You should watch her more carefully, Greg. You might learn something." Driscoll's mouth opened. Nothing came. "You use the word category," Gregory said. "Wyler did not place Miss Hepburn in a category. He asked me to study her. Which of those two assessments carries more weight? What would you do, watching someone defend another person's dignity with nothing but memory and the willingness to be still?" Driscoll turned to the audience. "What Gregory illustrates is that Miss Hepburn inspires loyalty. That protective impulse is itself a testament to the effect she has on people." He had turned Gregory's defense into evidence of Audrey's fragility. Gregory rose to his full height. 6 feet, 3 inches. His voice descended the way a closing argument drops when the attorney knows the case is decided. Miss Hepburn was a child in occupied Holland during the war, undernourished for years afterward. She came to Hollywood with no connections and gave a performance that William Wyler called the finest he had ever directed. The brown eyes neither blinked nor accused. What she does not need is to be diminished by someone who has confused a verdict with an observation. 4 seconds of silence, then applause, not the polite kind. The kind that happens when people have been holding their breath and finally remember how to breathe. The segment aired on NBC 2 weeks later in edited form. The Wyler story was gone. The exchange cut to 40 seconds. Timing, the producer said. 14 years later, an archivist found a complete kinescope in a private collection. NBC confirmed it existed and confirmed that Martin Driscoll's legal representation had sent a letter in October of '66 raising concerns about reputational harm. The kinescope disappeared 2 years after the report was filed. What remains is the testimony of stage manager Phil Garrett, who said in '91, "I have worked television 30 years. I have never seen a studio go that quiet." Not once. Gregory never spoke about that evening. Audrey never spoke about it. In '93, 3 months after her death, a journalist asked Gregory what her greatest quality had been. He was quiet. Then, she never required anyone to explain her value to her. She already knew it. Share this story with someone who remembers when dignity was something you demonstrated. Subscribe to keep these stories alive. Tell us in the comments, what did Gregory Peck teach you about standing up for someone? Every memory matters. Every voice deserves to be heard.